this is Mary Jane from Art Like That. We're going to paint a Freesia flower. I hope you enjoy it. For anyone who's new, this is just the perfect kind of painting for you. So I'm using watercolors, and I'm using a soft blue and a purple mixed. I've already done the drawing. I don't know if you can see it there, but I'm going to add the first light coat of paint to each petal, and so that way I know exactly where I am with the painting. After that, I'll add highlights. So just fill in your painting. Be careful not to put too much water because we want it to be nice and smooth. Down at the bottom of this flower, it changes into a yellow color, so we want to make sure that that's nice and dry and blends nicely into the white paper. So remember that there would be some petals in the back, so they would be painted just very slightly darker with a bit more pigment, and the ones in front would be very light. I was actually just lifting off a bit of paint there because I wanted it to blend better into the white part of the flower. Now I'm adding the yellow. I'm not worrying about any depth or any change in color in the yellow, just filling it in. And doing the same to the next flower. Basically, if you've got a good drawing, which I advise you to make sure that you do that well, using an F pencil so that it's very light, it will help you guide you. And so basically you're just sort of coloring it in as you would a coloring book right now. So this is the last petal that I will paint, and it's very simple because it's just a bud. And from then on we're going to have just little green buds. So it sure is a very simple painting. I think that anybody can do it. Now I'm painting in the bottom of the flower, the leaves that hold the flower, and the stem that goes around the Freesia flower. Being careful not to make the line too thick. If you do that, it can really ruin your painting. So steady hand is always helpful. But I don't always have a steady hand. going to continue round the rest of the buds, putting in the little sockets that the buds go into, if you want to call it that. And then I'm just going to add the buds inside. I'm just using a fairly light green. Sap green is usually a very good color to use. So here I'm starting to add a little bit of depth. So this petal is darker on the left side because it's underneath, and we want to make sure that we see the separation between the petals. So the one in the back will be darker. Being careful to blend, like I painted along the edges and then blended it into the petal. And then continue to do that to the rest of the petals. Try to get the contrast, try not to get into making them all one color again, because you defeat the purpose. And that's what makes the flower look more realistic, is the contrast between the colors that you put down. Being very careful to make sure that the edges are filled in so that the painting, if you're going to print it, you have less mess to clean up. You get a nice firm line, which the scanner will like a lot more than an edge that's serrated. So that's it, that's all there is. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Please stop in at my website. It's www.artlikethat.com, and we'll see you next time.